Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Thoughtseize seem to help the Yogg and Living in matchup. Yeah, I mean, I would agree it's good in those matchups. I feel like you're probably, you know, we've got Cursed Totems in the sideboard. We're a Solitude Ephemerate deck. I'm not that scared of Yogg. Yeah, it's very funny to say that, like, 4-color is dead because, like, the same exact 4-color list that I was like a top 3 contender for me at the PT is like just legal again. Like with Beanstalk banned, you just go back to being the ring 4-color, and it's like it's not as broken, but it is still just like a deck we know and love, or we know at least. Okay, Mold 5 probably has Tron. Fatal Push always being summoned against Tron opponents. Don't fear, though. We have 4 copies of Break the Ice on the sideboard. Would Anointed Peacekeeper work? I do really like Anointed Peacekeeper. That's a card that like has started to like just show up in more and more of my like drafts. I haven't played it a ton, but I'm pro Peacekeeper. Thoughts on the bans? I like the bans. I think Wizards has done a very good job managing the ban list, despite like the task of filtering through all of the feedback that exists. It's pretty insurmountable, it seems. I think they do a pretty good job. Not perfect, but I really like that they like proactively banned up the Beanstalk. Like the gameplay with and against it was pretty miserable. It was going to continue to like in my opinion, Beanstalk is like even worse for creature decks than Scam Fury. Like to me, like I hated seeing turn 2 up the Beanstalk as a creature deck even more than getting like stuff Scam Furied, because the games would just be the games were like going to be immediately really, really long, and like immediately like you just like can't beat turn 2 Bean, but it's good. Instead of dying immediately, you die in like 30 minutes as your opponents like agonize over the best possible value play when you have no resources in hand. And then even the games you win against them can feel like losses because they just take so long and they take so much out of you. They removed Beanstalk because they wanted to make money from ring reprint. These like Wizards does it because they want to sell packs. Like to some extent, like yes, Wizards wants to sell packs. Up the Beanstalk, it was better than the One Ring. It would have not been correct to ban the One Ring over Up the Beanstalk. So to say that they banned Bean instead of Ring because they want to sell packs is just not true. Like, you know, I phrased it this way a couple times, and I think this kind of helps people understand why Bean was so much better than the Ring. It's that in any number of Up the Beanstalk was always good to draw at any point in the game. You're happy to keep an opening hand with 3 in your opening hand. You're happy to draw it early. You just can't. It's just not the same with the Ring. Ring is like clunky. It's 4 mana. There's so many more play patterns against it. Like, and not only are there like not very many good play patterns against Beanstalk, like it's so tough. Yeah, it is literally always good in any number of copies you draw, even like up to 8 because you're cascading into it. It's always good. It is like, it is one, you know, like one I think kind of philosophy with Magic cards kind of has to be that your cards are not always good at every moment over the course of a game. Can we play Blue so you can Ephemerate too? We just have to keep your pitch card count in mind. But Tidebinder is really good. I was struggling to build a Tidebinder Ephemerate deck for a while. I don't think I play the Ring. I think that we are trying to hold up Reprieve here. I think they may like pop the Relic. Ooh. Okay, I think I still need to hold up the Reprieve. That was pretty good though. Well, I was good against a 4-drop. You have the Bowmasters against their Ring. Yeah. People act like it's this ridiculous thing that Wizards does things because they want to sell packs and they want the games to be interesting. It's like, they're very dramatic about it. Another Reprieve could be good, like, especially with the Bowmasters up. I'm regretting obviously not slamming my own copy of the Ring last turn. I think it's pretty borderline. Let's go ahead and hold up the Reprieve again. Kind of a fun play. So we go down to 11. If they tap the ring and we get to like reprieve their only play, they're dead. Undying Evil without the draw. Yeah, having Solitude interplay untapped is super duper important. It's, in my opinion, it's important enough to make this consideration. So yeah, so they're 7+2, they're dead, assuming like we get to like stop them with Reprieve. I do love this card. I remember I saw it in when I consulted on the Lord of the Rings set. I was so excited for this card. Looking good. How do you feel about Besiege the Mirror? I think that card is incredibly, incredibly cool, and
problem with Shindo Ryu is it's trash.
Not very good. Very slow, it's 4 mana, requires you to have stuff going on. Very weak to counter spells. Okay, up a game. Winning game 1 against Tron is very nice, since we have a lot of sideboard cards. One problem too is like Solitude is just not good in every matchup. I think I could play like 1 Solitude, but like you kind of want to move your like scam elements when you're cutting. Things get kind of awkward. I might play 1 Loran. Loran's kind of sick with Bowmaster Sheoldred. You like tap. Loran is really cool in this deck because you can ephemerate it for value, and you can tap it to trigger Bowmaster and trigger Sheoldred. Maybe I'll play Trimmer Ring. Play another one. Is Undying Evil better not to death draw? Yeah, with Solitude it's better. Having it enter untapped is super duper relevant, and you don't like really care about the counter very much. Like being able to like Solitude Ephemerate and then block with your Solitude like on a Ragavan or creature doesn't kill the Solitude is huge. Splash red for Fury. But what other red cards would you play alongside Fury? It does feel weird that Fury is like is gone, you know? Hasn't quite sunk in yet. I miss the rage. Ephemerate is just objectively better than the scam variants. Yeah, I guess. With Solitude specifically, like being able to exile 3 creatures is just like against decks like Yawgmoth and Scales and Rhinos is just so backbreaking. Yeah, the 5 stages of grief. Step 1, don't ban grief, ban fury instead. Well, gonna keep. I've looked at Night Sweep spills recently. No, I want to play them. Like, Modern is so sick right now. There's just like so many decks that get to open up more. Okay, happy to not see a map here, because maybe we can still grief them off of Tron. Okay, so definitely gonna take the scrying. Oh, they didn't play. They had map but didn't play map. This is just like so good for me. Wait, they had 2 power plants? Oh, I didn't notice that these were matching. Okay. Still taking the map. Then take the ring on the come back probably. 3 damage, another discard. I'm gonna take another discard here. For surezies. They got the ring in their hand at least. I mean, I do have binding for ring, so I could potentially. And I also have Sheoldred, so maybe taking stirrings is better. Yeah, I guess that checks out. Play this one because it break the ice. If I draw a land, maybe I'm not like just gonna binding the relic. It's probably worse than just holding up the binding for the ring. But obviously Sheoldred is really nice against ring. Ooh. So now I'll just main phase the Ephemerate and see if I want to binding the relic. Yeah, I think so. Just, 1 for 1, 1 for 1. Yeah, I know. There's like no good black-white multicolored cards. Draw step. I wanted to do it main phase because I wasn't sure if I wanted to exile the relic or not. If I was sure I wanted to exile relic, then I could do a draw step, I guess. But I wanted to have that option available to me. To take it or to not. Because if their other card is another ring, I want to save the binding. They probably should have held the Spasaju because they could have saved themselves 3 damage because I probably do Ephemerate the Grief. Okay, land for Sheoldred. I guess I'm kind of upset to not have drawn a land for Sheoldred, but I suppose I'll take a break the ice. As a consolation. Yeah, Kazgal's pretty. Has had its day in the sun. You don't want to pop this? Come on. I have overloaded break the ice, yeah. It is quite the feeling. Where do you rank Tron right now in the meta? I think trying to rank the meta right now is kind of pointless. It's all over the place. People are scrambling. People's heads are on fire. I'm just trying to get a feel for what's going on. Just too early to. Oh no, my opponent has spent 3 mana in their draw step. Now they're floating the mana they can't undo. What the hell just happened? Yeah, there kind of is no meta at the moment. There's a little bit of the meta. So Dingo was 0-5. The Verdants are Bloodstained buyers. I didn't reflect it in the Mox field, but they are not Catacombs. Yeah, ever since we boiled him. It's not hell. My body is an absolute machine that turns 10 ticks into 0 game wins. Unrelated, don't play Orzhov scam. Wow, actual 05-010. So if we 5-0, we have to retweet it with the inverse, but with 5-0. Kind of sensing a shadow of doubt. I don't know. I'm gonna at least play around Tidebinder by fetching an upkeep. I think I'm just gonna not binding this. Could draw a Bowmaster next turn. Could draw a push. Could draw an Ephemerate. Could draw a scam card. Pretty scared of Tidebinder here. Why does it matter to use Mire over Catacomb? I'm missing. Yeah, Mire fetches Raugrin Triome. And Catacombs doesn't. Advance the 15 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Everyone playing Shadow and Solitude format. Shadow, people always talk about how good Solitude is against Shadow. Just, if you're playing Shadow and you put yourself in a position where, like, Solitude can blow you out, like, you've probably made a mistake. You can and should be able to play in a way where, like, you're not going to get blown out by Solitude. Like, here if my opponent casts a Shadow, this is a punt. This is a punt to play a Shadow when your opponent can just Solitude you. So I'm going to go for the Solitude. Maybe this gets Tidebinder, but if they Tidebinder, I can untap and play Ring. I could go Binding this, play Ring. Yeah, like the fact that they have to counter this is... That's the punt. Okay, another Ring. Shadow NT Street Race sounds dope. It does sound dope. I really wish there was like a little bit more like overlap with the synergy than just Street Wraith. I've been trying to figure it out. Yeah, I did have a crazy Solitude yesterday, but also my opponent just played into it. Like if you should be playing around Solitude, and it's just like, you know, it's almost like Solitude against any other 1-mana creature. And Solitude against 1-mana creatures is not like that backbreaking. Another Solitude would be nice. Kind of a tough spot. Like, evoking... The Bowmasters are pretty good here. I don't really want to evoke them. I also kind of want to be able to go tap the ring, and if they Bowmaster in response, I can Bowmaster their Bowmaster. So they didn't have Bowmaster, so let's Grief Scam. And just, like, chain some rings together. When you bring a Stalker, did you try with Bobble and Street Wraith? Yeah, we played Bobble and Street Wraith with Stalker a few times. Let's go and get a Plains here so that I could draw Push or Binding and cast it. You want to keep the new ring so it's the same amount of cards and 1 less damage over the course of 2 turns. Dingo, 12 months? Yeah, it really is a skill issue after all. Yeah, I'm really hoping I get to do the inverse of your tweet, Dingo. If I 5-0. Playing with max focus. Well, kind of dead if they have a counterspell. Can be an Archmage's Charm. Well, not dead on board, huh? Oh, but dead to the ring. I blame Dingo for the run bads. So I can draw salt. I mean, how many Solitudes do I have to draw to get out of this? So many. I have to draw. I don't have a Cling. I think I had a Cling in prior builds. Give me a break, opponent. Alright, we'll go to game 2. Probably not an awful matchup. We're in the 4th push. Sheoldred's pretty fragile, but kind of a card you probably can't touch that often. Maybe just cut the 3rd Reprieve. Don't think I want any Thoughtseizes. The first Thoughtseize could be good. 2 Reprieve, 1 Thoughtseize. We did cut 2 white cards for 2 black cards, so I think I'll just try to have like at least 15 white cards here. Was it Solitude great to take Takenuma? Yeah, we could Takenuma for Solitude, but we're still just dead. Okay, on the play. Cool hand. Cursed Totem is for Yogg and Scales. Elesh Norn is for Titan and 4 color. It'll be $5 a month for the rest of your life. Put it on a mold to 6. Any black white cards you can bitch? Yeah, there are no good black and white cards, I think. Maybe Vanishing Verse could be good if you like kind of determine the metagame is appropriate for it, but it's I don't think good right now. Or you can't determine that it's good right now. Yeah, I do want to get my fetching done this turn if possible. In the Tidebinder metagame. Yeah, Vindicate's not playable. Fracture's not playable. Play around Tidebinder, chat. Thoughteize doesn't work with Ephemerate. You also I don't really want to be main decking Thoughtseize, so no Thoughtseize makes Voidwalker worse also. It's like an okay sideboard card. I decided not to include it. But this is also not like it's not a proactive deck. This is a control deck, so proactive cards like Voidwalker make less sense to me. Maybe Reprieving, that's okay, because if they Void Bowmaster response, I get to Bowmaster their Bowmaster. Deck Snap, take my Sheoldred. Just cycling. They slam a Murktide, it's kind of annoying. Oh, I'm surprised they're doing this. Happy enough, I guess. They don't know about the third Reprieve, so I think I'll let the Shadow resolve. I also didn't play around Tidebinder. Could block and then Ephemerate. I think I'm going to take 2. Just chill. I draw Grief. I may bait Tidebinder by cracking my fetch. Push is a good pickup. Let's lead on the push. I can Reprieve my own push if they counter. With the ability to pay for Pierce. Okay. Let's get in. They may just die to like me. Ephemerating my Bowmaster. So they have Dismember in their hand. Their life total mysteriously went down. Down to 7. And then just does nothing with their mana. Deal. Only a 5/5. So do I double Ephemerate my Bowmaster? I get to kill this, and then I get to have a 5/5 Orc that trades for the Murktide. Don't love it. But I think knowing that they have the Dismember, this is probably okay, because it forces this trade to happen before they can Dismember anything, because I get to put them to 5. I can also just draw like a Binding and win. Or Bowmaster makes them chump. Or Ephemerate. Like taking 2 to force the block. This also forces the block. But kills their 2/2. Without taking 2. No, I don't think the Spark is playable. So they have Dismember in addition to this 9/9 Death Shadow. Dismember doesn't kill my Orc at least. They main phase Dismember a Bowmaster. Interesting. Big draw step. Kind of a big draw. Okay, they're chilling, I'm chilling. Don't think I could just cast Leyline Binding here into 4 open mana. Alright, trading some cards. Oof. Well, this is particularly bad because now I have to chump. Don't think I had any. I don't know. I didn't have a better line. Have some outs. Sheoldred wins, maybe. Alright. Shouldn't have talked shit. Not 5-0ing. Is there an argument to main phase of the binding to avoid letting opponent draw into counter magic? Well, they drew the Thoughtseize for turn, so I don't feel like that was like the problem there. But they're just so more likely to have like they like just almost certainly have counter magic up there. This is still good. Yeah, I would love for Blue-Eyed Samurai to get a second season. First season was so good. This is like a terrible Tron match. We 2-0 Tron in round 1. But yes, it does. But yes, it does. We have 4. I don't know. We have just 4 break the ice in this sideboard. We got plan. It's a pretty good top deck from them. You want Undying Evil instead of Not Dead After All because untapped Solitude is really, really good. Much more relevant than like the 1 damage. Again, the 1 damage is less relevant because you're a Solitude deck. They're gaining them all this life. Verse seems like a good meta call. Yeah, Verse might be good. It's just the meta's too weird to like predict. I think that Verse is good at the moment. It could be good though. Let's get Raugrin Triome. Yeah, still getting in. Have 2 removal spells up. Hard to feel like we're just gonna die. A good Solitude deck with Solitude, Tidebinder, Ephemerate. I spent like 4 or 5 hours last week trying to find a build with Tidebinder, Ephemerate, and Solitude. This was back when still like Fury was legal, but I couldn't find one that was like seemed workable in the last metagame. But with Bean Band and Fury Band, I think I can figure it out. Because I do feel like those were like 2 super relevant choke points for the deck construction. Yeah, Lotho is so sweet. I love Lotho. If it had 2 toughness, I'd be all about it. What about subtlety? I mean, what about subtlety? You know what I mean? What about it? Where do you put the hammer here? I think I know the right answer. Yeah, I think that's the right answer. Do this now before they can play a land and protection. Although they probably shouldn't have made a construct if they had a protection spell. Okay, no second saga is nice. I wonder what this red splash is for. Oh, hold on, sorry. Gonna Solitude that one. Yeah. You want to. I think no. You don't want to. Esper Sigil doesn't guarantee the card because you could just respond while it still has 1 toughness. For the 1 red equip card. Oh right. Oh man, it's funny that I asked that, right? Because that used to be like the stock way to build a deck back in the day. All right, Grief. You got 3 turns to get this done. Leyline Bindings providing covering fire. Yeah, that was like the stock way to build it. Okay, so it's still fine. Just binding both their creatures. Gingerbread is also gone from the deck. I feel like we're okay. I think the no coffers blacklist you played. Do you think that deck is worse with being gone? That deck is way better with I think Fury and and being gone. I have a list with Stalker. We may play today. We may also play Rakdos. Rakdos with Questing Druid today. I'm gonna try to get this league done and those. I know we're already like 4.5 hours in. Maybe not the most realistic. I'm gonna try to like get a coffee or something and keep going. Been liking the longer streams. Well, shit's exciting. Yeah, Mono Black Cauldron seems exciting too. I love that deck. Okay. Why are we cracking Heath just to thin? You should I mean, I guess Urza Saga isn't an out, but show Inkmoth Nexus and double block. And in paper, I might just show them the binding because there's no single card that beats binding that they could. I guess have a removal spell in their main deck. It'd be kind of random. All right, Loran's in. Push in. Reprieve's out. And then I think I want Bowmaster is like okay. You want some number. I think I may do something like 1 Break the Ice over Bowmaster 4. Yeah, I guess Eiganjo. That would be the card. Paladin might do it. No, we beat a Paladin. We just binding the Stoneforge Mystic and then attack with Menace. I like that we're good against the Sentinel here. Binding is also like pretty nuts. Obviously, any scam card makes this hand better. Any changes make to the Druid Storm deck? I don't think I'd change the main deck that much, and I haven't really thought much about the sideboard. But the main deck's like pretty formulaic, and it's hard to also feel like I would want to change the main deck a lot when the metagame is just all over the place and random and unpredictable at the moment. It's not like a really cohesive thing you need to be targeting. This deck is definitely a little bit better against Sanctifier and Vec than older builds. How's the Dive felt? Have I liked having extra scam effects? Yeah, I think those extra scam effects are important. I don't know that it's necessarily super deep. I'm gonna play around Hammer plus Protection Spell with the main phase, maybe. So maybe it's a little cowardly. It's okay, the Sigurd is 8 also. As Dam. I don't think Dam is pretty good. I've cast a lot of Dam. Like, listen, all these Stoneforge Mystics, Tide Hollow Scullers, Vindicates, Dams, all these like awful suggestions people are suggesting for this deck. It's like I'm telling you they're bad because I know. I felt the pain of registering these shitty sewer cards. I've swam in the sewer, gasping for air. And that's why you come here. So you don't have to waste the time playing them. I've already done it. Do bans put Prowess back on the map? Yeah, bans are a pretty big deal for Prowess for sure. Prowess is like one of the kind of quieter decks in the format that's like pretty good. Doesn't get a lot of respect. Not elves. Those are always bad. I lost playing for a trophy with elves. I guess I lost, but I don't know. I liked my build of elves a lot with Elven Chorus too. I might want to play 4 Tyvar 3 Chorus though. We'll see. I'm kind of coping on the elves a little bit, just like everybody with their pet decks, of course. Oh, sorry. Probably should have Bowmastered. But now they will never suspect I have it. Actually, saving Bowmasters for the Urza Saga token. Oh, it's something. I thought it was a 1/1. They have the Shadow Spear. Okay, never mind. Tap Blood Crypt. Probably going to grief them. Maybe I want to play Sheoldred instead. If I draw a Ring, I'm definitely going to play Ring or Sheoldred. Draw Solitude. Let's play Sheoldred. Don't want to get chipped away to nothing. Never understood the logic of playing Prowess versus regular Murktide. Well, they're very different archetypes. Like, one is an aggro deck, one of them is like a tempo control deck. Prowess is really fast, has a lot of turn 3 kills, is like really resilient to red removal. Underworld Breach is ridiculous in Prowess. It is like, that's like one of the best decks for it for sure. So if they have Hammer, they're not casting it. Not yet, at least. What should we do here? Loran on the Saga or the Sigarda's Aid seems good. Probably more so on the Saga. Should I Grief? Like Evoke Grief? I think yeah. I should. Yeah, Cursed Totem. Elves are getting caught in the crossfire of a Cursed Totem. You can easily chord for Rex Age, like you have that ETB effect. Yeah, so I think we just killed the Saga. Loran, both players draw a card will be good next turn. Probably leaving a Sheoldred back to check the Saga. My life total is so much higher than theirs. We're their control deck anyways. Lots of 5-color humans. Say maybe Sentinel and Fury Band make it good again. I played a lot of humans. I had a list with Questing Druid recently that I thought was good. Don't put Mantis Rider in your deck. Don't main deck Kite Self Rebooter. You can play the deck though, and you can win some games. And you have a lot of awful matchups like Yawgmoth and Titan. Okay, deck tech for Spuffy. Hydras, let's go. Where is it, though? Wait, we didn't spend all stream talking about this stupid Hydra tribal thing for us to just not have it here. Or maybe we just don't think it's good enough. What's the name of the Titan tribal card? Tribal card. The makes Hydras cost 4 less? Like with Hydroid Krasis, I'm kind of in for that card at least. Over the Kolgas, maybe. I think Vorinclex looks off. I played it the other day. It didn't seem very good. 28 lands. Hold on, let me cast this ring. Woodrow with the 19 months. Thank you. Currently 11 alone to Reading Explorer. I really know what that's like, but it does look pretty cool. So I actually... So you're playing... This is, I think, very innovative to play 4 Grazer, 28 lands, and only 4 elves. Oh, but you're playing Paradise Druid. I mean, I would play, like, Elf over Paradise Druid. So you're not playing Wolf Willow Haven. Haven's, like, really good. Haven's really good. Demolition Field, it seems incredibly greedy. Oh, but it fixes your mana with the island. Maybe it's good. Maybe that's good, too. I don't know. It seems like your list is sick. There's a lot to like here. I feel like I would want to try the... Yeah, Gargaros. I'd want to try it over Kolga potentially, but maybe Kolga's just good. I don't like Vorinclex. I would probably play the 4th Titan before the first Vorinclex. Titan was really good for us today. I would definitely play like 2 elves over the Hydras, but playing 28 lands with Grazer, it's interesting to me, and the mana looks good. So, mostly good job. I feel like these syncopates look probably super suboptimal, but yeah, you could splash counter spells maybe for the Lotus matchup. I don't know if Lotus is on Explorer, but I'd play Disdainful Stroke instead every time. Yeah, Krasis seems nice. Seems crazy with Gargaros. Yeah, but Kolga could be better than I think. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. Loran is so fun with Sheoldred. Just Tendrils of Agony. Shriek Ball Drifter. Well, I don't want to splash blue. I've played Shriek Ball Drifter in Modern not that long ago. You can register these cards. Yeah, so I guess we just break the Ice Think Moth. Pass. Swing with Loran. Well, I want to save the Undying Evil for Solitude. I don't want to just like Undying this. I think we can Undying Evil Solitude because we can exile the Sanctifier before the Evoke happens. They got 2 cards in their hand. Attack with Loran's kind of sick. You're just spewing your Solitude scam for no reason, just to like have a cutesy wootsy little play. Oh yeah, so I think the doesn't even exile Solitude, right? The a bit better against Hammer this build. We solved the matchup. Kind of drawing infinite cards. Just binding the Sigardizade now. Okay, I'm on the play. We don't do any paid deck text anymore, but you can save up your channel points if you want one. Is it fair to say it's your fault Beans is banned as OG Bean Cascade Gamer? I'll take no fault, no blame, but I'll take a 5-pack of gifted subs maybe. Alright. Probably taking Binding. Is Dimir? We played against a lot of Dimir and Grixis Shadow lately. Feels cool that people are working on the archetype. There's a good chance it's still not as good as Murktide. Tidebinder has been like such an impactful card too. Take Sheoldred. Very surprised about that. Alright, let's play Eiganjo so I have Reprieve up without messing up my domain stuff. I think Mono Green Sean should be playing Saga. Yeah, I think you want the first Saga as like a utility land to search up with Sylvan Scrying in the late game, but you also have like some range of keepable hands where like you like make a token and get a map. It fixes your Tron. It's nice to have at least one. I feel less confident that you should have 2 copies, but you could play 2. So I'm gonna Reprieve this. If I draw a black source, I'll fetch a Triome. If I draw a non-black source, I'll probably just get a Godless Shrine. I'm gonna fetch now to play around Tidebinder. Do I want to fetch Shock? I don't think so. I think I'll just get a tapped Godless Shrine. Jingo with the tier 1. Thank you. Welcome back. Grixis Wizard deck Dingo's been working on. I like it. I think Tidebinder decks in general are pretty good, and I think it looks like one of the better ones. How come we're not Charming Prince Blade Slicer? Dang, I forgot to add my Charming Princes and my Blade Splicers. Okay, let's shuffle before the Tidebinder again. Don't want to remove the Bowmaster now though, since a Hardcast Solitude can clean those up pretty well. Can take a couple hits to raise the alarm. Yeah, Eldrazi Displacer. Oh man. Kai Palace, 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. And Jingo with the converted Twitch Prime tier 1. Thank you. Restoration Angel is so sick. Restoration Angel of Grief. Hurts me to not do it. But I'm not going to do it. I haven't seen the new Remy. I feel like I'm behind on Remy's. Which one is this one? Karn's Band.
Why was I singled out? Well, it's not just you. Geological Appraiser was also banned in Explorer. What the hell is Explorer? I have no idea. Look, I appreciate you making up for that banned. Huh. Yeah. I mean, Mono Green isn't a dominant deck in the card. Absolutely not. On just last game, we tapped Nykthos for 20. Right. I wanted from outside the game, Pestilent Cauldron in this case, cast a Kiora. Well, my second Kiora, legendarying out the first, I tapped Nykthos. Yeah, it's hard to imagine how you possibly could have been banned. Well, they can take their ban and shove it right up their beanstalk. You know, it's funny you mention that.
It's a pretty good ending. I remember it was always such a pain in the ass to write articles about like the Karn combo stuff. It was just like always so annoying to like write out how the Pestilent Cauldron stuff worked. Alright, you hardcast your incarnation, I hardcast my incarnation. Modern is the same. Is this my own list or deck Fadens that he posted? I built this deck. This is very similar to a list we played like Lord of the Rings testing era. Wasn't Dax's list playing like Gix? Gix and like Stoneforge Mystic? Maybe not Stoneforge. But yeah, no, we played basically the same list like 4 or 5 months ago. I wonder if I push the Orc army, if they'll counter this. I think I'm going to push the Orc army. So they're going to Undying the Bowmaster, and then I have Solitude. That went pretty well. Maybe Solitude was always better than Fury. Well, the thing is, like, Solitude is just like Fury. Like, a turn 1 4/4 double striker is good at almost every matchup. A lot of matchups for Solitude's not that good. Wow, cool line. I've never seen that. I'm gonna main phase this. Cool play. Top deck Solitude. What am I, a chatter? Has anyone ever seen that? I've never seen bounce Binding on Grief to get the Binding as the only card while your opponent's tapped out. Okay, so can't attack. Because then we get a 4/4. Oh man, I guess actually I'm gonna play around subtlety by having them like cast the Borrower end of turn, and then I can Solitude the Borrower, and like I guess that doesn't kill the Shadow because they just fetch shock. Upkeep it, end of turn. Do you ever attack with 1? I mean, they're just gonna fetch shock, and like if they have a counter spell, it's a big blowout. Let's go for end of turn at this point, although I'm down to respond to a preordain since this was their draw for turn. This means if so like I guess either 2 card could be a counter spell. But they didn't have a counter spell for my Solitude 2 turns ago. Did they draw the Force of Negation for the Binding, or did they already have it for and couldn't Force of Negation Solitude? So they put 2 cards on the bottom. Yeah, imagine if Solitude had the Squadron Hawk ability. Alright, get him then. Where's my Kahira? Oh no, wait, why are they evoking this? Yeah, they... Oh, they're just conceding, I see, okay. Cool. Yeah, so we lost to Blue-Black Shadow without scam stuff. They're like Blue-Black Scam. I'm happy to see someone playing a list, because I've heard a lot of people go, the scam will just be Blue-Black, but boy have I not seen a list. That like makes sense. I guess just go -1 reprieve, +1 push, like last time. Yeah, I think I did top deck Solitude, Solitude Binding, Solitude Binding. Skill issue. I mean, that's why you have to play these Orzhov decks. You just have like no library manipulation. Sometimes you can draw your whole deck with the One Ring, but alright, let's mulligan this on the draw. My opponent's also on a mull to 6. Kind of classic, like, oh, if this is up the beanstalk, we're so happy to have 2 in our opening hand. Weird hand. I'm gonna put back the Undying Evil, I guess. Yeah, Dingo was just missing the top deck skills. You'd think he would have developed as a scam player. This is still in the format, I guess. I'm also playing the deck. Yeah, I think Dingo top decked the Grief against me on turn 1 when he was on the draw to Grief scam me when we played in the Super League. Yeah, Modern is healing. Isn't there a 3CMC domain card draw that sees playing Reanimator? Wouldn't that make sense in this list? Yeah, you could play that card. I like the suggestion. I should type cool play. Yeah, Shadow. Yeah, I like the thought of Shadow Prophecy. I think it solves a lot of issues of like having only Ring as your card advantage engine, having no card selection. I don't know that I would play 4, but I'd be open to play some number. You'd have to cut black cards for them, so like there's a little bit of tension. Like, what black cards can you afford to cut? Yeah, I don't know. There's not a ton of. You could maybe cut a land, second Undying Evil, 4th Reprieve or something. Kind of depends on how many you want to play. Nice stress down. Okay, just gonna take 4. Maybe chump blocking is good here, so I could try to have Sheoldred catch up. If I like miss 1 land drop, I think I'll just leave this in play against the preordained deck. Very good start from our opponent. Dex looks good. Oh, never mind. Deck looks bad. Still Solitude format. Kick W. Okay, they got 1 card. I got 1 card. I mean, yeah, cool play. The 2 cards. Okay, I guess we just binding end of turn. Man, Magic is so easy. You're just playing off the top. Just look at your phone, fall asleep, whatever the best card is to cast in your hand, you just cast on any turn. So nice. I'm not playing these complicated, like, Nykthos decks. I guess those weren't that complicated either. Yeah, I want to save this for a Murktide or Shadow post-combat. I guess they're not that likely to have that. Obviously, I'll binding this if they don't have that. They're evoking a Grief. Do I binding the Grief? It's kind of cowardly to do so, but I am like kind of screwed if they have an Undying effect and I don't do this. I'm not sure that they would evoke Grief here without an Undying effect. Like, just starting to hardcast them next turn could be pretty good. Draw our 4th land. If this last card is not a Undying Effect, we maybe feel kind of silly. Tap my ring. We also have, I guess we still have 2 Sheoldreds left. I thought I had lost one more earlier. Life total is kind of low. Obviously, Bowmaster against ring is pretty good too. I think we just grieve. Okay, well, there's a scam card hanging out over there. So I can take Not Dead After All to make Fatal Push a better draw for me. Feels like the push is probably what I need to take. And then what happens if I tap the ring end of turn? They deal 2 damage to me. I go to 4. Seems ambitious to tap the ring end of turn. What if I draw Solitude, Sheoldred, another ring? All of these kind of reward me. What do they do with the Preordain? 2 on the bottom. I guess maybe I should have blocked the Bowmaster and then after they undied, drew. Yeah, sorry, that was better. Could have also Undying Evil my grief. Yeah, I played this pretty bad. They could also kill my grief. Yeah, I know that. I'm kind of happy if they do. Now we're pretty dead. We can play game 3, I guess. Okay, so Undying trigger on the stack. I suppose I'm still taking the ring damage. Okay. Black white. I think it's an okay deck. It's a deck that I felt like was okay pre Lord of the Rings, pre Bean. It was something I was exploring, like different One Ring shells. This was like back when Ring was out for the first time, trying to find different shells for the One Ring, and I thought this was like a pretty reasonable kind of control variant with like very very powerful draws, high card quality, but what it's really lacking is selection. It just doesn't have a lot of selection, and it's kind of like at the mercy of your draws. That being said, someone suggested playing Shadow Prophecy, which I thought was maybe a pretty good suggestion to kind of fix that problem. I think we'll take Grief plus Thoughtseize. Rebound on the... Well, maybe I don't mind if they Thoughtseize me. Yeah, let's take the Bowmasters. I don't really mind if they Thoughtseize. Splash Fable, YOLO. Yeah, but we're already like very low on like... Because we have a high land count and 4 colorless rings. We can't really afford to splash off color cards. Okay, now I get to take the counter spell unless they drew something better. Push qualifies as better, I think. Could do this in draw step. I think I'm worried enough about Dismember. So just do this now. Why is it that Ephemerate plus Grief feels less bad than Undying Effects? Well, it's less proactive, so you get to play a game of Magic instead of just dying. You're also like more used to like like and also because we're not as proactive, like Grief plus Undying plus more pressure is like just so good. This is, just not the same formula. I just grab my other Triome and start getting in. Max the Twitch Prime, thank you, welcome back. Opponent is left with just a Not Dead After All and a Mystery Spell. If it was a land, they would have played the land. Thanks again, Max, for the Twitch Prime. So whatever that spell is, it's not a 2-drop. It it is a spell, so I think I'm just going to grief them here. And follow it up with Sheoldred. Though I think it could be a 3-drop. Can't really be anything too. It could be push maybe. Fetch after attack as a push. If you crack your fetch, it doesn't turn off. It doesn't turn on your opponent's push. Revolt is only when a permanent you control leaves. Yeah, grief count 6. All right. We may not have Stoneforge Mystic. We may not have Vindicate. We may not have Gix. We may not have Tidehall Sculler. But what we do have is 3 wins. Let's get a 4-1 prediction. I need to get some coffee. Okay. We're back. Get some coffee.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Yeah, I wonder how much the 1-bits are a year. Probably a few bucks. Probably less than 10. Maybe around 10. Alright. Delta. I think I Raugrin Triome so that if I have to fetch something else here, I can still binding for 2 mana instead of 1. Or so 3. Murktide is probably a fine matchup. Try to get a domain online. Reboss of our league. I mean, I love playing against Murktide. It's just like so simple and easy. Like every once in 10 matches, you get surprised by a weird techie card. Thought about pushing the Ragavan and then trying to reprieve iteration next turn maybe. Reprieve is just like kind of hard to hold up. I think you just kind of want to reprieve like the first 2 mana thing you see most of the time. Also, people have been playing a lot of snares, and I've even seen some scoldings. I guess I was still in the scan meta, but I'm gonna slam the One Ring. They have Pierce. They have Pierce. Although I guess this could change things because they just don't have Delirium, and it's always resolving. This seems fine. Okay, so let's put this on top so we just know if they Ragavan it, it's not going to get a good card. So if they counter this, I can play the ring, I guess. Got subtlety, counter spells, spell periods, blah blah blah. Good beats, you know, good shit. Let's go. Ring resolved. Another Sheoldred found. Your turn. Two cards on the bottom, the Preordained there. Notably, they do have Delirium now. 5 mystery cards. White card would be kind of nice. Oh, they have a Tidebinder? I think I'll probably just play another ring. And then if I draw a white card, I'm really happy, and I get to just Solitude scam. Kind of cool to a Murktide if I do this, but like, but getting to do this like while my opponent's tapped out is just so juicy. Your turn. 4 cards in their hand. Bolts the Murktide. No. Or sorry, bolts the Solitude. No Murktide yet. I'm gonna play Grief over Sheoldred since I want to be able to protect my Sheoldred. Get it through a counter spell. I think it's most likely just gonna get countered. They've already used, have these 2 or 3 counters. 2 counter spells, 1 subtlety down. Kind of a tense game. Exiles a Spirebluff Canal. Down to 5. Kind of a scary spot. Another iteration's pretty good. Doesn't even get Bowmastered. Another iteration. Would love for them to just play Murktide at this point. Looks like a bobble. Should I evoke Solitude and Ephemerate it? I think I'll play Bowmaster. Okay, so first things first, see if this resolves. Uh-oh. No, we're not dead here. We have Solitudes to, like, we could theoretically gain enough life to survive. So I'm gonna go Solitude, Pitch, Binding. You cannot binding your own permanent. Let's target our own Bowmaster, I think. I've got a few different routes here. I can go. I think I go Solitude, the Ragavan, and then Ephemerate my Solitude. I can also Ephemerate my Solitude, exile my Orc, block the Ragavan. Yeah, I kind of like that. Could you Ephemerate my Bowmaster? I don't want to. You can Ephemerate on token and block. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think blocking is kind of clean here. And if they do this, then we Solitude our own Solitude, go to 6. I guess we Bowmaster the Ragavan. Oh, sorry, yeah, because we're gonna go to 1. We have to find some life points somewhere, huh? Doesn't seem like the last card's super relevant. Maybe it's Unholy Heat. Oof. As tempting as it is, probably not tapping that. I'm going to play Bowmasters here, just try to get them dead as quick as possible before they top deck a Bolts. Looks like a Murktide. Oh, Ragavan. Not casting any spell here ever, just like no reason to like let a spell pierce be a real card this game. This may bait the counterspell if they have a counterspell. Well, I guess I threw. That being said, I can still draw another Solitude off this ring. Still have two in the deck, right? Oh, only one in the deck. Tempted by the ring. I guess. You're not binding your own ring. Even if you could, you'd still take a damage. Alright, game 2, let's go. Tough game. Is what it is. Yeah. Just no reason to tap the ring main phase like that. No, I'm not gonna bring in Thoughtseize. Yeah, there's just no reason to. Especially when it was like so likely that they had the Unholy Heat as the last card. Yeah, I know. I even said like the turn before. I thought it was their last card. It made just so much sense. Long game, long stream, is what it is. I'll keep. No black card. Sad. Loran's for what? Well, it's a Reclamation Sage, right? So in your Ephemerate deck, that's pretty nice. You get to flicker it, blow up amulets and hammers and Urza Sagas and Hardened Scales, and you can also tap it to where you trigger Sheoldred and Bowmaster. Nice little synergy. Oh my gosh. I was doing something on the other monitor. It's okay though. I guess I'll just play this and get both Triumphs in a turn. We're still not getting Tidebindered. One black card, please. I did +1 black card here. Yeah, this is still the first league. Leagues are taking a lot longer than our mono green Stompy deck and Pioneer, it seems. Gullible Seeker of Riddle Spoiler. I did not know. I don't think so, at least. Not well enough to memorize the name. Okay, your turn. We're gonna end with mono green. I liked Voracious Hydra more than the triplets. We 4-1'd with that build. It felt pretty good. I'm very scared of the Lotus matchup. We're just not fast enough, and like I don't know. I think we can play Damping Sphere in the sideboard. Maybe we just can. And then we were trying to theory craft what a. Yeah, we're trying to theory craft a build that played Blossoming Tortoise and Cavalier and Emrakul, and like Tortoise and Cavalier to fill up the yard for Emrakul, which would be less of a cave deck. The caves are really important, I felt. Okay, hold on. Let me. So I'm doing a trade for the next deck also. So I can take the Unholy Heat, reprieve the Archmage's Charm, and win the game. Reprieve is so good. Literally nobody else will put it in their deck but me, though. I don't know why. Everyone hates this card. I think it's better to use this Ephemerate to protect the Grief, probably. Reprieve Ephemerate? Yeah, I guess that was better, huh? Not as... This does reward me. Look, literally just rewarded. Concedes, yeah, fair enough. Hand, one card left in hand. Okay, game 3 on the draw. Let's go. Yeah, occasionally lucky. Is Grief Stem still to your thing? I think you'll most often see that in like Gorios. I don't think you might see it in like a mono black build, but like Scam, as you know, is dead. I'm going to keep on the draw against Murktide, for sure. Yeah, we have a Takenuma. I think we had it in a play last game. Alright, keeping... This is basically more control. Yeah, like, I've said this a lot today, but you can't really build Orzhov as a proactive deck like Scam was, like Rakdos Scam was. It just isn't... It's inherently a reactive deck. Because you're being in a Solitude Ephemerate just doesn't let you play this proactive game plan. So you have to. So being a Ring Sheoldred deck is the best way to build it, in my opinion. Not with Tidehull Sculler, not with Stoneforge Mystic, not with Gix, not with all these other cards people have been playing. Is it still a good deck in Modern? TBD. It's at least like somewhat playable. We've played it before. You know, it is maybe not a good deck, but it is a deck for sure. Yeah, no Lotho. I love Lotho so much. If Bowmaster didn't exist, I'd play Lotho. I'm gonna reprieve this. I wanted like Cycle get to land 4. My opponent's missing land drops probably because of the Islet. Obviously they could just replay it, but they can't go like Channeler Preordain maybe. Oh, they have land. Kind of surprised to see that. Do I want to play around Spell Pierce? I guess I'm like I could play my Shock Land to play around Spell Pierce plus Burn Spell. I think I'm just gonna play my land tap so that I can play Ring next turn. Nice. Yeah, so we'll take Iteration, one of the counter spells, and then on the Rebound Ephemerate, plan to take the other counter spell. Yeah, Undying Evil over the Wicked Roll token because untapped Solitude is very relevant. Guessing you would have preferred Grief to go instead. I would have preferred Grief to go instead, but I don't really care a ton either way. I think for me it was very close. I think one or the other should have gone. And like more people wanted Fury Band than Grief. This was like Fury was like this existential angst of a card. People wouldn't shut up about it. It was like just always a card people would go on and on about. And I'm happy to just like no longer have to open Twitter every day and see people going, Fury is the reason my humans deck isn't playable. Alright, crack your eyelet. Please, and thank you. So I think I just tap the ring. If they have Tidebinder, they'll Tidebinder. We probably just play Sheoldred. Now I think I Ephemerate the Grief and then play Sheoldred. Goes with the Hardcast Solitude here. They put a card on top. It's a little bit scary. Yeah, Pioneer's been pretty fun. The mono green deck we played today was incredibly fun. I don't think they keep an Unholy Heat on top here necessarily. I think it's like a Murktide iteration, counterspell, yeah, iteration. Puts a Force of Negation in the yard. Why not go full control with this list? I feel like I have done that. I don't know what I know the card counterspell isn't in the deck, but it also kind of is, and give me an example of a change that would pivot this deck from being to be more control. I don't think you want to put sweepers in the deck. You have too many creatures. Exiles a Ragavan. Frenzo with the 29 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, we have Vindicate. The opponent on site and Scolding. Oh, we haven't seen it. I know Murktide players, if your Murktide opponent doesn't draw like the right 1-mana answer on curve, you're like, they must not have boarded it in, but I don't know. I feel like if they have it, they probably boarded it in. There we go. Keeps the card on top. It's probably an Unholy Heat. So I guess I attack. Then binding the Ragavan main phase. It's heat iteration. You can't even keep Murktide on top here. Yeah, you can only keep heat or iteration. I guess you can keep Preordain. Oh, I don't have Delirium. Or a Domain, I can still 2 mana. Opponent didn't board it at all. Yeah. Initial bird with a tier 1. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah. Delta in the graveyard. Yeah, I guess I don't have Delirium either. Alright. We 4-1 this league. Should I dunk on Dingo on Twitter? Probably. Nah, it's just a 4-1. If it was a 5-0, I would. I don't know. I think I've said this the whole league. If you're gonna play Orzhov, this is the kind of build you have to play. I think the Stoneblade, Scholar, whatever, these builds are just not impressive. Bad plans. If you're playing Solitude Ephemerate, your strategy is slower, more reactive, and this kind of build plays into that plan a bit better. Is it a good modern deck? I don't know. It's like somewhat playable. We've played it before. I don't know that I would recommend it for a tournament, but I would recommend if you're interested in like still playing with your Greaves and still playing with this kind of strategy, trying out versions like this. Gosslot with the 2 years. No Voidwalker's main. Are they not great threats? You're maybe not listening either. You don't want great threats. You don't want 3 mana, 2 mana, 3/2 unblockable. You're a Solitude Ephemerate deck. You are a removal spell deck. Solitude Ephemerate gains your opponent a shit ton of life. We also don't want to play Thoughtseize in the main. Voidwalker's worse there, but you want your cards to be slower and like trading resources in a profitable way for you to outgrind them with your One Rings eventually. I would be interested in playing Shadow Prophecy in the deck too. Prophecies may be good, but that's why you don't play Voidwalkers. You don't want these 2 mana threats. Bowmaster is like more of a removal spell. Okay, one more league today at least. I don't think.